You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, fans need to practice what they preach, and action speaks louder than words. We'll talk more about that throughout this video. But anyway, it is official, according to TMZ, that Mayweather will be fighting against Andre Berto September 12th. Now, even though this may be true, you can't necessarily believe it until Floyd Mayweather announces it. It's probably going to happen, but I'm just saying, let's just take this with a grain of salt. So these are some of the biggest questions when it comes to this fight. One of the questions is, will fans tune in and watch this fight? That's one of the questions, right? Will it be a successful event financially? Will it generate decent numbers, or will it surpass decent numbers? Another question is, does it even matter if the numbers are a big hit? And my last question is, will Berto challenge Floyd Mayweather in any aspect? Will he give Floyd Mayweather different looks? We're going to talk about all of that right now. Now, the first question is, will people tune in and watch this fight? Will it be a big hit when it comes to the ratings? I truly believe that if Floyd Mayweather does something that I hear he's thinking about doing, which is fighting Andre Berto on free TV, and we haven't had a fighter on the caliber of Floyd Mayweather fighting on free TV probably since Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson fought against, I think it was, what was his name? Buster Mathis Jr. And I don't even know if that was the first time he fought on free TV, but that was one of the last times a major boxing star fought on free TV. And of course, Mike Tyson, he did ridiculous numbers on TV. It didn't matter who the opponent was because you were tuning in to watch Mike Tyson. Just like some of you fans say about Golovkin. You notice Golovkin, he could fight Willie Monroe. He could fight guys you've never heard of, but he still generates very good numbers because people are tuning in to watch Gennady Golovkin. When it comes to Floyd Mayweather versus Andre Berto, this is what I mean when I say you fans need to practice what you preach. Don't sit over here and type all these messages, oh, this fight is garbage, I'm not watching that, and this is ridiculous that he takes this fight, etc., etc. And then as soon as fight night comes, you one of the first people on the couch with your popcorn, your beer, and all of that, waiting to watch Mayweather versus Berto. We know this is the case because we've seen these fans do this exact same thing when Mayweather decided to fight Maidana a second time. Some of these fans said that it was BS that Mayweather was even fighting against Maidana in the first place, in the first fight, right? Now, what's so funny is a lot of these decafs, after the fight, they claim that Maidana won the fight. Now, once again, before the fight, a lot of these decafs were saying, oh, Floyd Mayweather, he never gives rematches and so on and so forth, right? So when Floyd Mayweather gives a rematch to the fighter that some of you fans claim Maidana actually won, or Maidana kicked Floyd's ass and made him look bad and so on and so forth, soon as Floyd Mayweather announces the rematch, these same fans turn around and say, oh, I don't want to see that shit. That's garbage, and there goes Floyd Mayweather cherry picking, you know, etc., etc. They're saying all of this stuff. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to pay for that, right? Now, why is it the rematch that people criticize Floyd Mayweather for taking actually generated better numbers than the first fight? You know why? Because action speaks louder than words. So what I'm telling you fans is, when you hear these decafs say ridiculous shit, contradicting themselves. This fight is garbage. I'm not going to watch this. This is BS and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't even matter what they say. Let's see what their actions are September 12th. Because you can say whatever you want to say now. Let's see how the numbers do. And that will tell us how much of a garbage fight this was. Not people just typing shit on the internet, right? Because if this fight is as terrible as you guys say it is, the numbers should be worse than Pacquiao versus Brandon Rios. The numbers should be worse than Pacquiao versus Chris Algieri, right? That's how bad the numbers should be. But you guys know deep down you're going to watch the fight. Of course you're going to watch the fight, especially if it's on free TV. Now, when it comes to this fight being on pay-per-view, I'll tell you right now, I don't see this fight doing, of course, ridiculous pay-per-view numbers. I see it doing decent numbers, but I truly believe this fight is going to be on free TV. This seems like the type of fight that you would put on free TV. And I'm going to tell you right now, if 3.5 million people will pay $100 to watch Floyd Mayweather fight, imagine how many people will tune in to watch Floyd Mayweather fight for free, right? And I don't even have to just use the Mayweather-Pacquiao numbers, for example. Even if we use Mayweather versus Maidana numbers or Mayweather versus Guerrero numbers, right? If that many people will pay to watch Floyd Mayweather fight, how many people will tune in? Just to give you guys a little bit of a barometer or an idea of what we can expect, let me give you guys the Thurman versus Guerrero numbers. Keith Thurman fought against Robert the Ghost Guerrero on NBC. The numbers peaked at 4 million views. 4 million views. And keep in mind, Keith Thurman is nowhere near as known as Floyd Mayweather. So if Thurman can generate 3.5 to 4 million views on NBC, can you guys imagine how many people would tune in to watch Floyd Mayweather on free TV? I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, if this fight is on free TV and promoted right, I would not be surprised if we see close to 10 million people tuning in to watch Floyd Mayweather. This would be a pretty big deal, okay? But once again, for you guys saying that this is a horrible, terrible fight, if it's that terrible, we should see Pacquiao-Algieri numbers, right? After all, a lot of you guys like Pacquiao more than Floyd Mayweather, right? So we should see those type of numbers, but I don't think that's going to happen, especially if it's on free TV. Now, just to show you guys that I practice what I preach, I can tell you this right now. Now, I used to watch Mel Gibson movies. Matter of fact, some of the movies he made was some of my favorite movies. But when I found out that Mel Gibson was a flat out racist to blacks, Mexicans, Jews, and pretty much anyone who isn't white, I completely denounced him as an actor. I don't watch his movies anymore. When I found out Dog the Bounty Hunter was a flat out racist. And just in case some of you guys don't know about these stories, you could just search their names on YouTube and you'll be able to listen to the recordings of the racist stuff that they've said before. But when I found out Dog the Bounty Hunter was a racist, before that, I used to watch his show all the time. But once I found out he was a racist, I no longer support anything that he does. And if you truly believe that Floyd Mayweather versus Berto is garbage and is not worth watching and you're not going to support it and so on and so forth, actions speak louder than words. I'll believe it when I see it. When I see the numbers and they look horrible, then I'll believe it. Until then, there's no reason to talk about it. Because like I said, when it came to the Maidana fight, you guys said the same thing about the Maidana rematch, saying this was a garbage fight, etc., etc. You're not going to support it. And the Maidana rematch did better than the first Maidana fight because fans were not practicing what they preach. Okay? This is all therapeutic for the decaf. It makes them feel better to say these things because some of these Floyd Mayweather detractors, they have so much hate for Floyd Mayweather that the only thing that makes them deal with the fact that Floyd keeps winning is congregating with a whole bunch of people who can't stand him. So when they hear other people say, oh, that bastard, he's fighting another bum and so on and so forth, it makes them feel better, right? I understand the psychology of a decaf, trust me. Like I always say, one of the best things about the internet and all of this technology today is usually whatever you say, it is documented, right? So what I mean by that is if you go back and you read all these people's comments before the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight, before it was official, what were they saying before Mayweather was talking about fighting Pacquiao? You know what they were saying? They were saying things like, Floyd Mayweather needs to stop ducking Manny Pacquiao. He can't call himself TBE unless he fights Manny Pacquiao. They were basically saying that, you know what, I don't really like him, but I would give him all the respect in the world if he just fought Manny Pacquiao. It was all different types of messages like that. Basically saying, all you need to do is fight Manny Pacquiao and I won't criticize you anymore. This is what these fans were pretty much saying. And then after the fight, you even had some fans that were pretty much saying, you know, Floyd Mayweather, he can fight whoever he wants to fight. I mean, matter of fact, the heavyweight contender Chris Arreola, when he was interviewed, they asked him who Mayweather should fight next. And Chris Arreola, he said, man, he can fight whoever he wants. It doesn't even matter anymore. He didn't already beat all of the guys you asked him to fight, so it doesn't really matter who he fights anymore, right? You know, it's really interesting when you really think about it. The majority of stuff that you guys hear the professional boxers and trainers say, I'm talking about the majority of them. The majority of stuff you hear them say, you hear me corroborate, right? You guys hear me pretty much say the same things that these professional boxers and trainers are saying. What does that really tell you? It tells you that not all, but the vast majority of the pro community, they don't think like decafs. They think with common sense. And they don't really have an agenda. But for the ones that do have an agenda or just are very emotionally attached, those are the ones that you will hear talk like decafs. But that's a very, very small percentage. So the point that I'm making is you had these fans that were sitting over here basically saying, if Floyd Mayweather, if he fights Manny Pacquiao, I'll give him the credit, blah, 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 you know. And even before Manny Pacquiao, before he fought Canelo, everyone was saying Floyd Mayweather was afraid of Canelo. Then he fought Canelo. These detractors, they didn't give him his credit after they were the ones forcing Floyd Mayweather or basically asking Floyd Mayweather to fight Canelo, right? Right before Floyd Mayweather fought Mosley. You guys remember, Floyd Mayweather went on a radio show. He had R.A. Rugged Man going in hard on Floyd Mayweather. Keep in mind, guys, this was right before Floyd Mayweather signed to fight Mosley. R.A. Rugged Man was like, well, yeah, I understand Pacquiao don't want to take a drug test and blah, 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 but why don't you fight Shane Mosley? And everybody in the studio was like, yeah, man, that's the fight I want to see. That's the fight I want to see. A couple months later, Mayweather versus Mosley was signed. Fans still tried to make excuses. So now Floyd Mayweather is basically saying, look, man, every time I gave y'all what you wanted, you still complain? I'm going to fight who I want to fight, and I really don't care how you guys take it. That's what Golovkin does all the time. The difference is Gennady Golovkin is 33 years old, and he still hasn't stepped up against serious competition compared to the opponents that Floyd Mayweather has faced before he was 33 years old. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Once again, if you guys just look at the double standards in the sport of boxing, then you will understand what's going on when it comes to Floyd Mayweather fighting against Andre Berto. What's so funny is I remember it wasn't too long ago after Floyd Mayweather fought the guys that all you detractors said Floyd was afraid of, Manny Pacquiao. Right after he fights that guy, some of these haters who tune in to the fight, of course, they watch Canelo versus James Kirkland the next week and say Canelo is saving the sport of boxing by fighting against James Kirkland? Let me ask you guys a difference. What is the difference from James Kirkland and Andre Berto? Can anyone answer that? What is the difference from Andre Berto and Willie Monroe? There's not that much of a difference. There is not that much of a difference. The only difference is Floyd Mayweather has faced much better competition than a Canelo and a Golovkin put together. Well, you know what? When I say he's faced better competition, I mean he beat them. Okay? Because there's a difference from fighting a whole bunch of big names, right? I mean, Emmanuel Augustus, he fought a whole bunch of big names. Arturo Gatti, he fought a whole bunch of big names. But they didn't beat them. So that makes them no different than a person who doesn't even box, right? Anyone could get in there and lose. That's easy. It's the winning part that's pretty difficult, right? So the point that I'm making is we all know that if Manny Pacquiao would have beat Floyd Mayweather, no one would have had a problem with Manny Pacquiao fighting Andre Berto in his next fight, or some dude we've never fucking heard of, right? He could have been fighting the fucking ice cream man, and you guys would have been like, it doesn't matter, because he beat the fighter of our generation, right? You know, I've learned a whole lot from the Gennady Golovkin fans. The messages that they post when they defend Golovkin for facing the type of opposition that he's faced. And keep in mind, if you compare him to Floyd Mayweather, the difference is Golovkin has never stepped up in competition. And once again, he's 33 years old. When you listen and when you read the comments that these Golovkin fans post, you find out that all the criticism they throw at Floyd Mayweather was never true. You find out that they never really meant all of that stuff that they said about Floyd Mayweather. They can't possibly mean it because why? When they talk about Golovkin, you know what type of messages they leave? Well, whenever Andre Ward's name gets brought up, I see comments with people saying stuff like, you know, it's not fair to have him fight against Ward right now. He needs more time to build up his markability, etc., etc. What they are telling you is fighting good competition is not that important. Winning, winning, winning is all that matters. They're telling you they don't care if he fights the Adamas, the Rubios, the Willie Monroes. As long as Golovkin is going to be assured to win, that's all that matters. That erases every negative thing that these decavs have ever said about Floyd. Because the funny thing is when it comes to Floyd Mayweather, Floyd has already faced the Andre Wards. He's already faced the Canelos, the Pacquiaos, the Diego Corraleses. He's already faced these guys, right? So it makes no sense for you to sit over here and say Floyd has to be held to this ridiculous standard that no one else has to be held to. Let Golovkin fight Willie Monroe for the rest of his career. That's what these fans are saying. Fans, when you hear fans say stuff like Golovkin doesn't have to fight against Andre Ward, Golovkin's the A side and this and that and this and that, and you know, Ward can take it or leave it. They're telling you they would prefer for Golovkin not even to fight the best. They're telling you they would rather Golovkin just fight soft competition for the rest of his career. So if that's the case, what do these people really think deep down about Floyd Mayweather and his competition in the last 18 years? That's pretty much all I got. I'll do another video basically breaking down Floyd Mayweather versus Andre Berto because I think Andre Berto, he has some interesting tools that I think will make the fight interesting for as long as it lasts. I'm on to the next one.